Oh, hello. I'm Drew.
And I'm Jon with Michigan Adventure Life.
If you enjoyed this video of our hike into Nordhouse, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at MIAdventureLife. Thanks for watching.
Since we had to come back to the car to check out the noise situation and grab Jon's knife and a blanket, we're going to grab some more water, so it's less likely that we'll have to filter. Not that there's anything wrong with filtering, it's just time consuming. And
our filter's really good, but because it filters so much out, it just takes that much longer to pump it. So yeah, it's really convenient not to have to pump.
Jon's phone's dying, so he's letting me use a selfie stick. Boy, howdy, I love this. Just staring at myself and the woods. Doesn't get better. We're just packing up after getting the water. We're gonna hike back in, set some stuff down, probably depack, and show you some more of these trails. We're just getting back up to the lake. We took the other way back. Jon's here. Didn't leave him. This seems like a good time to talk about what is a legal and an illegal campsite in the Nordhouse Dunes Wilderness Area. When you come into Nordhouse Dunes, you are highly encouraged to use pre-established campsites so that we can, keep the impact down from the number of campers. This is a legal campsite. They made a nice little fire pit. They cleared it out. It's safe. It's flat. You're well over 200 feet from the water line. The high water mark, that's important, the high water mark, as the lake dries up sometimes. All through here, you'll find tucked up in the tree line, little campsites like that you can go to. There's another one over there. They're all up around the tree line of the edge of the lake. Let's show you some examples of established illegal campsites.
All right. So this is the first stop on the campsite tour. They've been camping here a while. They keep adding walls and other things to it, which is kind of neat. But on some of the logs, they actually nailed them into the tree, which kind of sucks.
Yeah,
it really sucks.
I affectionately call it the redneck rendezvous. There's always trash back in here. They set fireworks off. They've carved up this tree. Christ Loves J&J 2017. It's actually pretty clean in here right now. Oh, there's the bug. Always a little something with them. I don't know where they got these rocks. There aren't a lot of rocks around here. They got a nice fire pit.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not far enough from the water edge to be considered a legal campsite. That's where they talk about the high water mark. It's almost surrounded on three sides by swampland.
Yeah.
So, not a legal campsite, but super cool if they would clean it up.
Come up to another campsite here. A little fire pit. You can see they normally keep it pretty clear. The leaves, they got some logs to sit on.
There's a lot of signs of bushcrafters in this area.
Set up very well for it. With the spacing of the trees, the amount of trees, live, dead.
At least most of them seem to be cleaning up after themselves.
True.
So far we've only found that jug, a shotgun shell, and a sticker. Here's another campsite that we found. You know, you can see the fire pit here, and you can see where people cleared out and dragged some logs up. It's not a great campsite. It's not isolated from the wind in any way. And I don't think it's legal. I don't have a measuring tape out here, so you know I'm not pulling 200 feet from their fire pit to the edge of the water, but I just, you know, I guess I give them effort for not being right on the edge, but this is probably not a legal campsite. There's plenty of legal campsites established. You know, we found a couple up in the woods. You know, we'll show you some more. And some more examples of illegal campsites as we go along, exploring Nordhouse Lake.
This is another major area for people to come camping. I like to call it Hammock Heaven. As you can see, there are just tons of trees everywhere. A lot of them perfectly spaced out for hammocks. But this is technically an illegal campsite because it is so close to the water line. It's literally right there. And then also this place gets blown out with some wind. But it's still a beautiful spot.
Found a little bit more trash around, picked up some more plastic, shotgun shells, another jug. Still got the first jug.
Doing our part to take care of the environment.
So we got a nice bushcraft shelter here that they, you know, they didn't take it down, but at least they didn't use any man-made materials. You know, it's all just wood leaning up against a tree, whatever. I've cleaned some trash out of that one before. I don't know how many people have been in it since. Right now it looks like it's being stripped for firewood. Whoever built that fire pit right over there about 20 feet from the lake, you know, the real problem with fire pits that close to the lake is that on such a small lake, the ash can really upset the pH level. You're really throwing a lot into these little lakes. And 200 feet isn't that far. Like, you could still see the lake fine, and you need to get about 200 feet from the lake to not be blown in the wind you're getting anyway. You know, I've been talking a lot about illegal and legal campsites, and you know, there's some where, like, you know, it's clear that they at least try to be away from the water, but this one is almost physically as close to the water as you can get. And I've told people who've been camping in this site before, you know, yeah, it's not a good idea, but this one's actually so close to the water that if there were raining and flooding, you'd actually be a hazard to yourself, you know, not just the environment, because this could wash out, and you'd end up in the lake. You know, so just be mindful. Just clean up after yourself, you know. If you don't have a tape measure, that's great, but, you know, at least make an effort to not be right up on the ecosystem.
Another little campsite. You can tell there's people here who have been here recently, like leaving trash, of course.
It's a real problem. We won't pack out glass. Like, it's just too dangerous to us to pack it out. So it's just gonna sit here. I think we called this one Hippie Haven. There's always a funny smell coming from it. I think this one's legal though. I think this is far enough up from the watermark.
I believe you're right.
If it wasn't trash.
You can get around. I mean, you don't need to bring glass. You can have aluminum cans.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't. Glass just complicates everything.
Just got back to camp. Let's get some water in us. Getting some trail mix. Getting some snacks. Yeah, we hiked about 4 miles. I should turn the GPS watch off. Just about 4 miles around the little lake and the surrounding area. It's a really gorgeous lake. Tried to show you some of the places you can camp around here. Some of the places you shouldn't camp. Our camp still held up through the wind.
Lunchtime. Maybe some tortillas, some budding, ham. We got cheese too.
Oh yeah, we got cheese, we got meat, we got tortillas.
We good lunch.
It's been a little windy, so we dropped the back wall of the communal shelter. Try and give us a little break from the wind.
I really think it's mostly the wind. It's what, 24 or something still out probably.
Yeah, I haven't checked in a while.
But the wind has just been killer.
Got some pepper jack cheese here I'm putting on my tortillas.
This is provolone.
Great,
It's the only cheese to go with.
great cheese. Jesus, you mean Jesus? I'm glad you knew where that one was going at least.
Yeah, it's a 2 tortilla amount of food here.
I'm trying to break it up from the tuna pouches. I think we did tuna pouches for lunch like every single hike last year.
Gotta have variety.
It's the spice of life.
We bought all this food at Meijer.
Yep. It's a Michigan staple.
The right food can really change your day around too, you know? Really gives you energy to keep going, get more firewood, helps you stay warmer.
Keeps you from screaming at each other.
Right? You're always more positive when you have food in you. So what are our plans after lunch? Get some firewood, go exploring.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's a bunch of sites all the way around the lake, like Drew was saying earlier. Some of them illegal, some of them not so much. But most of them are pretty cool either way. It is chilly. Yeah, it's the meat we went with this trip. It's nice, you only get like 4 or 5 slices, but you don't need a lot of them in there. And it was like
It's one serving per package.
50 or 60 cents a pack, so it's not a bad way to do it.
Packaging's light.
We got that Sargento cheese, because we're classy.
Because they're the only ones who sell a 24 slice full pound cheese pack.
And it's resealable.
Yup. If it's not resealable, we just, we usually transfer everything out to a Ziploc or a slide seal bag. A lot of times we'd let this stuff warm under the fire, but we had to let the fire die down so we could, you know, go out and venture and stuff. Really good at rolling tortillas. From my time as a burrito artist in Utah.
It's a good life skill. And you gotta bring beef jerky. I don't remember what kind this was. I would imagine Jack Link's. No?
It was like Old Man Dave's cheap beef jerky.
Oh.
Whatever was cheap. Super important that you pick up all your trash, you know, as you go, and then walk around even when you're done. For trash bags, we just use these little resealable bags, about a gallon size, I think. You know, we might bring one extra for garbage, but usually we just we empty them. We put most of our food in them, so we empty them as we go, and then just use the ones that are emptied as trash bags.
So this is a prime example of dead and down. Just some blown over big trees that we're cutting up here. We've got some over here now. Good thing to look at when you're cutting up wood. With the hardwood, because this is an oak. You can still kind of tell. Big guy here. Yeah, the outside 1/4 inch or so is, you know, kind of rotten, but all that inside is still solid wood to burn. So even though it might look a little rotten, it still might be worth checking out because there could be a lot of wood hidden.
All right, so we sawed up a bunch of wood, brought it back to camp. Now we need to split it down in a little bit smaller pieces for kindling. We're gonna baton it down, just using our knife. And another piece of wood, just go down and split it off.
You'll see us using birch bark as a fire starter a lot. It's an excellent natural fire starter, but you never want to take it from a live birch tree. You'll kill it. But you can find, you know, dead stuff and stuff on the ground, and even some of the wet birch bark still does pretty good. And you just, you know, you just want to start by shaving yourself a piece off, and then from there you can just pull it in rings from that center point. And they'll come off pretty easy usually. And then from there, you just really want the papery fibers. So, you know, you crumble it up and they start to kind of come apart. And then kind of like a bird's nest of just the birch bark, after you've been folding it and crumbling it for a while, is what you're gonna try and use to start your fire. And with nothing but some dry leaves and some birch bark, And his trusty knife and ferro rod. Take 2. Drew starts a fire with birch bark and spite. Come on. Come on. It's the spite. That's really what does it.
It fuels the fire.
It does. I think it was those wet leaves that was my problem. I should have just stuck with the birch bark. I don't know what my problem is. Yeah, man, we've just been processing firewood out, getting that firewood going, getting that fire going. Sun's going down. It's real gorgeous out here. We'll probably get some dinner going in a little bit here. What are you doing tonight, John?
I believe we're doing kielbasa and some noodly stuff.
Sausage and noodly stuff, all right. We have to hang our water from the tripod to try and get it to thaw a little bit so we can actually eat anything. Because we drank most of the water we brought back today already. Just bringing John his spork. Why am I bringing him his spork? What you making, John?
We're gonna make some cornbread mix.
I'm gonna try real hard.
We're gonna try very hard.
I might just pop, just pop a little and try and squeeze it out. Some I can't believe it's not butter. And an egg. I was gonna say, if you did that with one hand, I was gonna be super impressed. Just added some water to it, mixing it up good. John's just gonna smooth it out, make it kind of even. And then we're gonna plop it on the fire and just keep spinning it till it starts to cook.
See how it goes.
Looks like this is gonna work okay. Might be a little crispy on the bottom, but it's cooking through. It's cooking a lot faster than I thought it would. Alright, so we pulled the cornbread off to the side. We're letting it just slow cook the rest. Heat the top a little juicy section that's left. I'm sure it's a little burned, but most of the food you cook over a fire is. Just got the Italian size Knorr garlic and olive oil. Just put it in the pan right there. The water was boiling. Cornbread's working its way through. And we're going to get the grill set up soon and cook some sausages. Alright. So John's just whipping his sausage out. So put it on the grill. These are pre-cooked, so you know, we're just heating them up. Got our noodly stuff over there done. Cornbread's done. A little crispy on the bottom, but I had a little nibble. It's pretty good. It's the best we've tried so far. We're going to try the pancakes that way too, so yeah, so far so good. So, there's our cornbread. The burnt parts in here are almost inedible. Apparently burnt cornbread is just awful. But like the fluffy yellow parts are quite delicious.
Oh yeah.
Our sausages are touching, and John's is black.
This is what we got, some noodles and sausage. It's actually pretty good.
Just clean it up a little. We put a little of just a couple drops of the camp suds in a cup with a little bit of water.
in my pot, and then we bring it to a boil. It scrubs out pretty nice. Dinner is getting all cleaned up. It's about 10:10. Probably gonna get the fire a little warmer, hang out for a minute. Probably try and be in bed by 11 so we can be up a little earlier, do something tomorrow. So I thought I'd mention that we got our tarp pole here. We hang a glow tube from it so we don't smack into it in the dark if our headlights aren't on. And by each of the stake tie-outs we put one of our trekking poles so we know, kind of where things are. It's about 10:45. Just letting the fire die down. Beautiful moon the last few nights when it's cleared up. Hard to get pictures of, but we try. Just gonna put some water in our sleeping bags. Just water bottles in our sleeping bags, not just the water. Try and keep it from freezing tonight. How you feeling, John?
Feeling pretty good.
It's good. Dinner was good.
Dinner was good. It hasn't been too windy.
No, the wind really died down. You can actually hear the big lake now. It's the official temperature record before. Oh, might have gone up a little bit. I'll call it 24 again, I guess. Might as well. Just letting the fire die down. Sounds like the wind's starting to pick up a little bit. Hope it doesn't reach us. Oh, you look relaxed, John.
I'm very relaxed.
You ready for bed?
Yes, I am.
Me too.
Alright guys, it's the end of day number 2 here in the Manistee National Forest. It was a pretty good day. I did a lot of walking around, checking out other campsites, collecting and processing a lot of firewood to keep us warm and cook our meals. So far the food's been pretty successful, pretty delicious. Nothing's compared to that steak the first night though. That was pretty amazing. But it was a good day. Look forward to go checking out this other camping spot a little up the lake. It'll be a nice hike, maybe around 6 miles or so. But we'll see you in the morning. Good night.
The wind picked up and the fire died down, so I'm going to bed. I think it's about 11:30. Wake up in the morning, make some breakfast. Maybe go hike a little. See you in the morning.
Good morning. Whew. It's morning. It's about 10 a.m. I think. John and I have just been rolling around, kind of complaining to each other about how cold it is outside our sleeping bags, but it's super nice on the inside. Probably time to get up and start the day. My butt agrees. John's up. Camp survived the night. I think we did pretty good. Let's check the official temperature record this morning. It feels warmer. About 30 degrees. All right, let's start the day.
Let's do it.
All right, John's just getting some birch bark off this down one right here. Breaking up some wood. We're gonna start a fire, eat some breakfast, pack up our base camp stuff, and take it back to the car.
We're going back a day early, which means tomorrow, not today.
Just a day early.
Because John's car is making that funny noise, and we'd really like to have him get it checked out
Before he has to go back to work, since it is the car we take on all of our adventures usually.
Gorgeous morning though. We got some swans out on the lake. You probably can't see them, but
Yeah, once we get the base camp stuff back to the car, we're going to come back,
grab the stuff for our light packs, our sleep systems and
stuff, some extra food.
and then head off up the coast on our journey.
Gonna be a good day.
You recording? Alright guys, you know, bushcraft is all fun with those ferro rods and everything, but you know, not as fun as just being warm after a long night. So sometimes it's just, you know, sometimes you just get her done.
Sometimes you just need fire.
It's just the view from our poop hole. It's just real nice little breeze going through. At least it's warm, sun feels nice. Not the best part of hiking, but you know, turn that frown upside down.
Country road, take me home to that place where I belong. So the tarp's up. We're gonna clean our stuff off the table. Figure out some breakfast. It's just a little after 11. We kind of wanted to be packed up on getting ready to hit the trail by noon, so that we could spend a couple hours charging our batteries in the car before we head up.
So this is the start of like our 5th or 6th attempt at pancakes in the woods. We've been trying different things for quite a while. Just trying to not have to hike out a cast iron pan. So this time we're gonna try pie plate coated in lard. On the grill on the fire, and see if that gives us the golden ticket there. For pancake mix, we just get these little shakers, fast shakes. We got blueberry this time. We added the water. Now we're shaking, and we're gonna pour.
Burn instantly.
I think they are too, but we're gonna try. We haven't done this successfully yet, so failing this time will just be, you know, public.
Right?
What are you waiting for? Do it.
I don't know if you do.
Yeah, man. It certainly sounds like it's burning instantly. Alright, so we got bubbles on the top, which means it's time to flip it. So we pulled it off the heat.
John's gonna try and give her a flip with his metal fork there.
Might have to hold the...
I think you could have let it go a little longer. It's not perfect, but it is by far the best trail pancake we've been able to manage at this point. So I think we're gonna keep going and try this out more. More lard.
Round 2. Plenty of lard. Pancake 2. Gonna try this out. Thicker might be better for our current scenario.
Right.
And we're just gonna let it cook a little longer than last time. So we pulled it off. John's gonna flip it.
wonder if the spoon would be easier.
Spoon might be easier. Yeah, I think holding the pan. Oh, yeah, look at that. That is our first successfully flipped trail pancake where we didn't have to hike out a cast iron pan. So that is a thick pie plate covered in lard on our camp grill. That seems to be the ticket, man. Now we can do pancakes. High five. So John's just done pulling the pancake off. Gonna eat it off the pan lid. Got a little syrup with us. Oh yeah, look at that. We're just gonna make a few more pancakes and then get back with you guys when we hit the trail, man. Happy eating. So we got base camp packed up. We're leaving, you know, that up like we talked about, and that's the stuff we're gonna take up to the other spot. We're just hiking out all the trash we pulled out yesterday, and the table, and the extra tarp and tarp poles, and all the heavy stuff we don't want to have to deal with tomorrow.
We're gonna go charge our stuff up so we can still keep recording. Dump all the heavy stuff off, like you said. It should be a pretty beautiful walk up Lake Michigan. I'm really looking forward to actually walking on the Great Lake.
Gonna hit the trail with those trail tunes, man. We'll catch you guys at the car. Batteries are done. We're just hiking back to the car. Gonna plug our phones in, get a last little bit of a charge before we head back, pack up our sleep systems, and then maybe eat some lunch and hike up the coast. We'll check in after our batteries are charged. Alright guys, we've been out here for a couple hours. It's almost 3. We drove John's car around a little bit, tried to get the sound out of it. It's still making a sound every once in a while, so we are going to end up heading back a day early, but we still got plenty of time right now to get back, pack up, and head up the beach. Just getting our packs back on, filled up our water, down to about 3 gallons in here. It may actually be faster to hike out to the car and grab our water than to use our little pump. But we're gonna get on the trail, get into camp, pack up our stuff, and then get back with you when we're hiking again. And now we play the cleanup song. So we're all packed up. Just gonna put our chairs on, gather up the last little bit of trash around camp. We left some firewood. You know, it's always good, leave some firewood if you find some firewood. We didn't find any, but do like to come in this spot a lot, so it'd be nice if we found some when we got back.
All right, we're all packed up.
fantastic. Wind's just in time to pick up as we're trying to leave too. There we go. But we're ready to go. We're gonna walk back to the main trail and head it so it starts heading us towards the lake, and we'll head north a little. 3-4 miles, shouldn't be that bad.
All right, so we're a couple miles in. We're just taking our bags off so we can take our raincoats off. It's getting warm. Only got a couple miles left to the waypoint. Watch says we should be there in about 40 minutes.
And there you go. There she is. Lake Michigan.
What a great lake! It's so big! Now, you'll notice, if you look, you can't see Ludington, you can't see Chicago. It's because the earth is curved. No flat earth. Look at it. You can zoom in as far with a telescope as you want. You're not seeing nothing but sky, man.
Got some fancy stirs, which you know are fantastic, but after hiking with some backpacks on, I'd rather have a nice gentle hill.
Yeah, these stairs are not as great as I thought they'd be.
I don't think we mentioned it when we put them on, but we have our gaiters on. And we're not expecting to walk through a lot of mud or anything, but it helps keep sand out of your boots. There's a river up here. We might have to cross. It might be frozen, might not, but again, gaiters help you doing that. You know, as long as you're not standing in a foot of water too long. You know, they're pretty tight on your boots. So there's a lot of multiple uses for them besides just mud. But my God, is it beautiful.
I love the Great Lakes.
Crossing this little river, hiking the beach. This is what we came here for.
The wind is actually better here than it was at our campsite. No dogs. Fun fact for all our watchers, Drew is very much a dog person, and I'm very much a cat person. So I relish places don't allow dogs.
And that's where our viewership tanks, John.
But hey, maybe we can get some angry, commenters.
All right. We're hitting the tree line now. We hiked a couple miles on the beach. Now we're gonna head back up into the forest again, now that we're back into national park land.
So this is essentially what we hiked in to see, a fire ring.
It is the only one you will find in this area. I've heard this spot affectionately referred to as Ramona's Retreat. Can't give you a precise location because
We're not precisely sure where we are.
we just kind of
Have some waypoints to follow.
But let me tell you, that fire ring would have been quite a journey to get out here.
It's part of the adventure is going places you haven't been or doing something you haven't done.
Seeing things that others tell you about, man.
All right, we made it to the place we're gonna camp. The lake's still right there. We're just on the other side of the dunes. 'Cause technically you can't camp on dunes. So we're gonna pick a couple prime trees, set up the hammocks with the tarps probably facing the lake to block out most of the wind, and probably get some fire going, get some wood going, eat some food. It's be pretty good.
We just turned our self-service on for long enough to find out there's gonna be some snow stuff before we can hike out of here. So we're just trying to get our tarps a little extra gussied up, a little tighter so they'll handle a little extra weight. Tried to stay out from under any pines that'll bring snow plopping down onto us. Done any of dead limbs up above us that'll come down. It's a great hiking spot. It's starting to get dark a little bit, but we collected some good wood. The down pine, we got to break a bunch of kindling off. And we think these were actually all across the trail and then groomed off because, well, in a nice pile right next to the trail, all pointing in the same direction. John's over there bringing more back.
All right, guys, so sometimes you get a big piece of wood like this and you won't have a saw, or you won't have the energy to saw, and you still want to burn it. And a lot of people will just try and burn through the middle, but it's really inefficient. It takes a lot of heat. So we just find a V in a couple trees, use your leverage. You're just letting the tree do the work. Always make sure you're pushing into it, not pulling. Because if that tree springs back at you, you're going to be able to control it a lot better like this than if it's coming right for your chest.
Alright, we're just getting ready to start our fire, so we're processing out some wood, getting some bark ready. Got a good base so we're not on any of the wet or cold ground. It's always good to start with something down here. Even if the ground is dry, it's still better to give yourself something else to get the fire going.
And that's ultimately what's going to turn into your coal bed to cook on and everything. So getting some nice dense wood down there that's going to last all night is going to be real helpful. I'm just peeling up some of this birch bark, getting the soft part off. This part catches a flame real easy.
You want to have your different size pieces of wood all separated too, especially at the beginning, just to make sure that, as you know, to help the fire get started, you have all the small tinder, the small pieces of wood ready, and then the slightly bigger ones after that to actually, you know, give it some energy, something to catch on to.
So there's my little ball of birch. That's what we end up throwing a spark into. When you let it go, it kind of expands a little bit, but that's where you throw your spark. Sometimes you just want fire. And that's how we make fire, guys. There is no special trick to it. It is just, you start with small stuff that is super easy to catch fire, and you move to bigger stuff. The drier the wood is, the better. I should get out of this fire hole now.
We just got our pot on there with some water, trying to bring it to a boil for some hot chocolate. Then once this fire's down to its ashes, we'll boil more water and make us some dinner.
Mac and cheese!
Some mac and cheese, deliciousness.
Oh, what do we got there, John?
Got some hot chocolate. Pretty hot.
Smells good.
It is delicious, and it's perfect.
Nice.
Warms you up.
John made some hot chocolate because he's cold, and I'm making some, boiling some water so I can make some mac and cheese because it's dinner time. Let's get the official temperature record here. It's on the ground, so you know it's going to be good. Well, Time to get a new official temperature of record. So we're just going to go ahead and say
30?
30? Sure.
25, 30?
Yeah, between 25 and 30. The unofficial temperature of record is between 25 and 30 degrees. So, you know, if anyone has a thermometer at their house that they would like to become the official temperature of record, I'm not a beggar, but my thermometer is dead. It's simmering. I'm going to call it good.
I mean, we're still going to cook it with the noodles on it, right?
Right. Try and get it more into the
Coals. It's good, Clark.
pocket spoon. Oh yeah, got those noodles done. Look at that. We're just gonna use the lid to strain it. Give that cheese pouch a rip and let it go. I'm sure all those people who squeeze their toothpaste from the bottom of the tube and roll it up are really upset about this. It's the best part of mac and cheese. Man, I love this stuff. I pretty much only eat mac and cheese on the trail now. And it's just delicious. And you just grab your spoon and mix it, man. It's just mac and cheese. It's just like making it at home, except instead of the stove, using a fire. So we just built the fire back up, and John's eating his mac and cheese. How's it going?
It's going really good. The Baby Bell cheese, having actual cheese in there, real cheese, makes it awesome.
Nice warm fire. It's about 9:45. We're probably John's gonna finish his mac and cheese. We'll clean up, hang a bear bag, let the fire die down and go to bed. We've been staying up too late. We gotta get an earlier start. Feels like it's warmed up a little bit. John and I are just, hanging out by the fire. We're probably gonna go to bed early since it's gonna start snowing tomorrow morning. We would like to be out of here before it gets too blown out. John's just getting the bear bag ready for the night. That was the best throw yet. I wish we could have seen it on camera. But when it works, that's what it looks like. We get a pole, and then I'll usually help lift it so he doesn't have to pull so much. And we got it going up there into the tree branch. John and I are just getting ready to let the fire die down, put her out, and hit the sack. It's about 11:15, which is pretty good for us.
Yeah. It's not too late, actually.
It's getting a little chillier though.
Definitely has cooled off.
The unofficial temperature of record, we'll say, is 22. Does it feel like 22 to you?
Feels like a solid 22.
Unofficial temperature record, 22. I don't know if you guys can hear the waves, but I can hear the waves. So I'm going to walk to the edge of this little cliff thing real quick and see if you guys can hear the waves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk over there, lean over the edge, hold my phone out, and then when I edit this, I'm going to see how loud I can turn it up. See if you can hear the waves.
Too bad you can't hear the cold.
Alright guys, laying in the hammock here, swaying a little. Looking forward to this nice rest I'm gonna get here actually. Walking on the beach wasn't that hard, but there was some spots that you just couldn't find any packed on sand. So it was a little loose. But it wasn't that bad overall. It was only probably 4 or so miles. But it's a really cool campsite we came to. I love coming here, so it was neat. But yeah, so going to bed. See you guys in the morning.
Glad I'm in bed. It's a little before 11:30. It just keeps getting colder. And it's supposed to start snowing around 4 a.m. and then it's supposed to pick up before it gets really bad, I guess around noon. So our plan is to wake up at 9, spend an hour, you know, eating something, break camp, then get hiking up the beach before it gets real bad. It was a great day. It was really neat to hike from one spot we love to another. We didn't even really think about it before this. But I'm beat. Night, guys. Alright, guys, it's about 9 a.m. It is windy. I don't know if it's that cold, but it is certainly windy. I haven't checked the snow situation yet, but we're going to get up, get going, get some breakfast, and pack our stuff up. Well, camp survived, bear bag survived. Everything's coming up, Drew. And John, I guess. Just going to pack up, eat some breakfast, and get back to the beach before this storm starts. Good morning, good morning. We talked the whole night through. Good morning to you. We're just packing her all up. Eating handfuls of trail mix and jerky as we go. Just trying to beat the weather that we know is coming. I lay all my stuff out like this when I can so I can get a nice tight roll on my mat. Only works when it's dry, but hey, it's dry right now.
All packed up.
Excellent. Our bags are ready.
Eat one more thing, maybe some trail mix before we hit the beach. Head out of here.
Was a great little spot. Want to get out of here before it gets blown out, though. It's about 10:15, so we're still about 45 minutes earlier than we wanted to be. Doing pretty good. We checked the site. Got all our trash out. Didn't have a lot of trash. Don't hike in a lot of trash. Don't have to hike out a lot of trash. We're gonna have to go down this hill. I don't recommend using selfie sticks on hills, so that's what we just came down. Leaves are hazardous.
Very hazardous.
Still got some snow back in here. We're gonna hike up out to the dune. We'll just describe it as south of Manistee, north of the Lake Michigan Rec Area. Gorgeous. Really hope it doesn't get blown out. It's one of 2 rivers we're gonna have to cross. Feeds right into Lake Michigan. It's not bad. It's a little deep to just wade it. Luckily there's this log. We didn't have much problem crossing it yesterday. So hopefully it's very similar today. We are at the second river. We just crossed this and then take one of those boardwalks up to the Lake Michigan Rec Area. Ooh, this is gross.
right across it. All right. It's not exactly a mighty stream. It is a stream though. It'll get you wet. We packed off, had a little sitter on these benches. Attempted to use the facilities, but they were locked, so we're just gonna hike the last few miles to the car.
Say goodbye to the beach.
Say bye to the beach. It's so pretty. Okay. Just getting back up to the little lake. It's I don't know, a little afternoon. Started to snow and blow about right at noon like they said. It's still just light right now, but I don't want to be here when it gets worse. Look at that lake though. That's why we come here, man. Just coming up on the car. Slowing down a little. Checking our pace. Slowing our hearts down, you know. That cool down after a workout. So I hear.
Right.
Not that I work out much.
It was a pretty good trip. Pretty good hike.
I had a real good hike. I think this is probably the most miles I've had my pack on for one trip this year so far. Did about 21 miles total this trip with packs on. Sometimes with 70-pound packs. So that's about 7 miles a hiking day.
It's not bad.
No. There are some people out there who would say, you know, oh, 7 miles, why even hike anywhere? And there are some people who would say, why the hell would you hike 7 miles to go camping? So, you know, we fall somewhere in between the two. I think that's a healthy median.
Nice.
Hike your hike, man. There's the car. As discussed previously, we're calling it a day early because John's car, the AdventureMobile, needs making noises. And John really wants to get it checked out before he has to go to work. Because sometimes the AdventureMobile is a workmobile. John's just putting on those driving shoes. All packed up. We're gonna cram the last few things in and ourselves. And then hopefully the AdventureMobile makes it home. All right. And now we start the journey home. Goodbye, Nordhouse Dunes Wilderness. Drew, put your seatbelt on. On the road again. Those are all the words I know to on the road again. Something, something, something. John is my friend. Can't wait to be on the road again. Yeah, I'm leaving that in too.
I know.
Don't know if you can see it. A welcome fisherman sign is like the Michigan symbol for, hey, we don't care what you're wearing. We don't care what you smell like. Come on in and give us your money. Just stopped for gas and a sandwich. It's about 2:20, 2:30. We're getting on the way. I normally wouldn't condone filming in a bathroom, but this is a sick joke that I have to tell someone else. Whoa, the freeway! I think everyone from Michigan, well, I guess everyone from southern Michigan can mutually identify the Zoowaukee Bridge as your return from up north. Now, we're pretty close to home, so I'm not saying we would have been hiking in this, but I'm super glad we weren't hiking in this.
We just got back to our apartment. We're
gonna unpack all of our stuff. We had a pretty good trip. We appreciate you guys watching. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, guys.